My name is ST Billingsley. We run a website called What's Up Prince William. It was started for a couple reasons. Our main business is we actually have 2 automotive repair shops. That's how we make a living. And we were looking for a way to talk about the community because we're very community oriented, just part of our community support, but also a way to distribute content about our repair shops. Just because media is changing so much, whether it's video, TV, newspapers are going away as far as the traditional way, and we just needed a way to be able to distribute content consistently on a consistent basis in our area. So that's how What's Up Prince William got it, basically invented. One of the things that we have grown into is we do, I don't know how many of you have actually seen it or even know about us, but with our community coverage, nonprofits, community-based organizations, and businesses doing good things in the community, that coverage is basically free, especially to the nonprofits. So if they're having an event, if they're trying to promote something, if they have something going on, want to talk about them, that's kind of what we do. So last year we did about $80,000 worth of media coverage for free to them. And we're kind of on track to do that again. So that's kind of part of our mission along with it. I guess one of the things that we wanted us to talk about is how you can get coverage from a place like ours. Is that correct? Is that what you want to talk about? Okay. so there's a couple things that we can do. So if you are doing something good in the community, okay, say you're working with the Salvation Army or working with the Boys and Girls Club or something like that. We can't be everywhere, but if you actually write it up, the who, what, when, where, but also why it's important to the community, not really why it's important to you, as far as like why it benefits you to support them. Make sure you send that to us in a couple pictures, but also make sure that you send your cell phone number and an email that you actually check, not your info@business, because you don't check, because then we can't get a hold of you. Because sometimes the editor or one of the writers needs to get a hold of you real quick just for a question or something relevant to the story, so we can put it up. So basically, you helping us talk about what you're doing in the community, what you're supporting, is one way to get coverage as a business on our site. That actually helps us. Even though it's a website that we do, we're really driven on Facebook with it. So of course, anything that we do that way goes to the Facebook. That's where we get the reach from. One of the things that we see happen a lot for types of coverage, something that we won't cover. So if it's like a health fair, or if it's a product fair, and it is kind of getting promoted as some proceeds are getting donated to this organization, we're not coming to cover that. We're not going to put that up. Not that it's not a good thing to do, unless it's like the Boys and Girls Club, I might give it a little bit of extra attention to that one, just because we do a lot with the Boys and Girls Club. But also, for those type of things that are going on, we have an online calendar. So you can put stuff on the online calendar, and that's free for you to put on there. But we don't have time to put that stuff on our calendar from everybody having something. It used to be, the online calendars, people were begging for things. Well, just with staff and how much it costs to run something, the staff isn't there to put that on the calendars anymore. So, I'm talking about just for us, you can look for some other ones, some other news agencies. A lot of times they have calendars that they're looking for people to put stuff on also. And also you have to look for what's relevant to you in your area. Like for our business, we're in Woodbridge. We reach basically Manassas. People from Manassas might drive to us, but they're going to be really driving to us from Gainesville. Now, if we're a plumbing company or something like that, where you have more of a regional reach that you're trying to do, some bigger places, such as like Inside Nova or WTOP, those are some things to look at. For us, advertising on like a WTOP, everybody driving from Stafford going to DC, and that may be the best place for us to spend money or our effort. Sometimes a little more local is better. The mistakes that we've seen as far as if you're looking to get coverage or if we do coverage, if you're a business owner and let's say you talk to us and we're going to come out and do some filming, just think of it this way. We're doing, if we're, you know, a lot of this, if you're doing something in the community and we're also giving you some highlight for what you're doing, we're sending people out. We have time editing, we have time writing, we have time posting, we do the SEO on the back end. It's not just putting it up. That takes a lot of time and effort for us. And we need you to like it and share it and get your business partners to like it and share it, and maybe some employees or friends or relatives if they would. And that's okay to kind of ask for those kind of shares and likes. But you know, just in our experience, sometimes we've done some for some people and they don't even like and share. We showed up and did a video and all that. Guess what we're never going back to? So the other thing also, you know, I'm talking about more in media, not just us, but because there's some other places out there too. Prince William Living, there's some other places that might do some coverage like that also. Even if they're doing it for free, because they're interested in your story, make sure you thank them online for that. It just kind of makes them feel good for their effort also. Thank you for What's Up Prince William for your coverage, or thank you Prince William Living for your coverage. And that goes a long way for us too, because we put a lot of work into telling your story. And not trying to sound on the greedy side on it, but there's also the, if you're a restaurant, feed the guys that show up. Give them a gift card so they can bring their spouse back or their boyfriend or girlfriend back. Not saying you have to do that, we don't ask for that, but those type of things just kind of showing like, hey, we really appreciate your effort. Even though we might be doing it for free, it really isn't free. You know, there's effort and money behind it. But also, you know, like for us, you know, if someone is giving you coverage and all that, or helping you out, use their services. You know, so we have some people who actually come to our shop. They ask me to do coverage for their nonprofit. Oh, I'll jump out there all day long. You know, so ours is a little bit different setup than everybody else, but it's one of those, you know, don't think that I'm just going to use it and then dump it. The other thing is also for the ones that are have a paid side of it. We have a paid side also and a free side. But the if you get the free part, if you're going to buy advertising or you're looking at doing something, at least give them a chance to get your business on the paid side. If you only use them for the free side and you never actually even give them a chance for the paid side, they're not going to come back. You know, so, and that's just from knowing, you know, some of the other media places that, you know, around the area. Am I out of time or?
No,
okay.
No, you're good.
All right. I don't want to like hog the thing here.
You've got 5 more minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem. So on some of the social media side that we've seen is, especially as a small business, it's hard to know where you're supposed to be online. You have to kind of work. You have to test some things out, find out what works for you. Like for us, you know, we were on, you know, 5, 7, 8 different social media platforms at once, just trying them out. Everything, you know, from Pinterest, of course, Twitter and Facebook and all that. Like for us, you know, Facebook works great. Twitter isn't that big of a deal for us. For news or for things going on, Twitter might be a bigger deal. If you are selling a product, obviously Pinterest and you know, maybe even Snapchat and obviously Instagram is very good for that. Instagram is becoming more popular for businesses. Especially since they're now letting you build links out of it back to a page, like if it's a sales page and all that. They wouldn't let you do that before. Also, you know, you have to watch it because they change their rules or how they distribute, how you get distributed over different times. You know, one month it can be great, next month it's horrible. But also, don't get so wrapped up into the numbers as far as what the reach is. You may have 1,000 followers, but 50% of them might be, you know, spam accounts. Just concentrate, worry about distributing the content to the people who are actually responding, working with you, you know, engaging with you. Our individual pages for Facebook for our Steve's and Hometown Auto Repair, you know, we only have about 700 people. And we have engagement on it, but we're not trying to build that to 20,000 people. How many people want to see about auto care every day? Well, not really. So, you know, that's why we use the What's Up Prince William thing for that vehicle. And then just, you know, talk about, you know, I'm not going to get into the particulars of it, but, you know, then you have your groups, and you have, you know, like Western and Eastern Prince William Chatter. Those are good places to be involved with. Individual groups, the moms groups, they're the ones who are talking about everybody. So being able to participate in those, and you'd be surprised, even if it's a moms group, me owning an auto repair shop, talking to them saying, hey, even though I'm not a mom, I might be able to help you as far as a resource. And they might let you in. You'd be real surprised, you just have to ask. But don't worry about being on every platform. It's too much work for one person. The other thing I say is don't hire a kid just saying because they know how to post something that doesn't mean they know what they're doing. So there's a lot that goes in behind it. But everybody asks how many times should I be posting? It really varies according to your business, what you're doing, what you're trying to go after. But Facebook 3 times a week, and make sure one of those days is Thursday. That will probably, if you want, it won't work for everybody exactly, but that's probably one to go off of, to try. But now, if you're really looking as far as social media etiquette, what you should be doing, you can really just Google it. There's a lot of opinions out there. There's a lot of I'll call it big national experts. Sprout Social will do it. They have a good article on social media etiquette. I would say if you do a search for social media etiquette, just hit the tools and only hit articles for the past year. That way it eliminates a lot of junk from before that you're looking at. But I would just say, anybody have to, we call them the grammar Nazis, anybody have to deal with that? So we have to deal with that. If somebody's kind of like, your spelling's wrong, this is wrong, just say thank you for pointing it out, we appreciate it. And for what we do, we actually just invite them to help write for us. That usually gets them to shut up. So don't think that you have to fight or defend everything online either. Just say, hey, thank you for pointing out, thank you for letting us know. But also biggest thing is engage with the people who are engaging with you. They might be complaining about something, they might be talking about an issue, but just engage with them. And that's really what they're looking for. And other people are looking to see if you're engaging. And so it doesn't have to be this big, long, drawn-out defensive battle either. It also could just be something as simple as, basically, if you don't mind us, how many have just individual businesses here? Plumbing, auto repair, anything like that, Okay, so it's always going to be, someone's always going to complain. It could even just be like, hey, we're sorry that you had this experience. Let me call you and we'll see if we can't get this resolved. So don't be afraid of social media. I like to say that we never get bad reviews. Heck, I just got one yesterday. It happens. But it's also, if you're doing everything right in your business, and it's easy to go back and handle those issues. For us, we happen to take pictures of everything wrong with the car. So even if the review isn't right, we're able to go back, hey, look, here's our pictures. Here's our thing. Please come back. Yeah, let's try to take care of it. So don't be afraid of social media, Facebook and Twitter. The only thing I can say is, and I'll be quiet, is if someone's really hammering you online, especially on Facebook, and you're worried about them going around, just hide their post. Don't block them. Don't ban them. Because what happens is, then they know that they're getting to you, and they'll keep going. If you just hide their post, the only people that see it is you and their friends, not everybody else. So that's a little trick to kind of get them to kind of go away, and if somebody's kind of bothering you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move to Tamieka Smith, who again, she's the Administrator of Military Wives and Moms of Woodbridge.
Well, good morning. My name is Tamieka. I am the Administrator for the Military Wives of the Moms of Woodbridge. We're a group of ladies who are associated with the military. Either our husbands are active duty or reserves or retired. So we span all age groups, all branches of service. So we're always looking for different businesses that we can use as a resource, whether it be realtors, auto repair, restaurants, virtually any business, because we're always moving. And so we're looking for things that we could either eat, get our cars done, housing, because a lot of us don't like to live on base. So we're always looking for a realtor to find a place to either buy or to rent. What else? What other questions were there?
You were gonna talk about some popular discussion topics and ways to connect with military wives.
Yes, so the popular questions are, what's the best place to live? Who can we talk to find a place to live? That's the biggest, where to live. Because the area is so big and a lot of us are new to the area, so we don't know where to go, who to contact. So the realtor is usually the number one for all military groups, for realtors. So we're always looking for someone to point us in the right direction for that. What's the best type of loan to get for military? School districts, what's a good school district to be in? Let's see, what's another one? What's the best Mexican restaurant? That's usually another big question because we're always looking for tequila. Let's see. Where can we go to find childcare? That's another big one, especially with our spouses being gone on deployment. We're needing somebody to watch the kids if we need to get away for a minute or two. So we're always just looking for help, looking for guidance on where to go for the local community. So that's definitely the biggest thing, is just questions about those type of topics. So that's pretty much all I have. Pretty simple. If you got information that could help us, we would love to patronize your business, because we're always looking for good stuff or good people that will take care of the military community.
Can I just ask a question now?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm showing my ignorance here, but is this a Facebook page?
It is a Facebook group,
Okay.
yes. We are specifically for Woodbridge, but we also allow other military wives within the Northern Virginia community. So we have people who go all the way up to Arlington and people who go down to Quantico. But primarily Woodbridge is our focus. But we do, like I said, have the entire region in the group.
Okay, thank you so much. Then we'll move next to Liz Whitt-Lee, and she's the owner of Get Social.
With Liz.
With Liz.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. As Holly mentioned, I am the owner of Get Social, excuse me, with Liz. And for many, many years, I managed businesses and nonprofit social media accounts. Primarily, now I don't do that so much anymore. I do help out a few, but primarily now I work with people on strategy and just basic consulting. They asked me to talk a little bit about groups, so I have some things to say. I would imagine the Q&A is where I'll participate more. So if you have questions, feel free. But I have a few things to say just about do's and don'ts of groups, because I believe that's what I was charged with. So I'll do that. Let's see here. Know the rules of the group that you join, and do the research and figure out, why, what's the intent of you joining the group. So if you are looking to join that group for business purposes, you want to do the Military Wives of Woodbridge, know the intent of the group and what they're trying to do. In this case, they're specifically looking for businesses, but some groups, that's not the intent. The intent is to inform people. So just know why you're joining a group. Is it because your customer might potentially be there, or is this a personal interest of yours? Is it an industry-related group? Know your purpose. Find a lot of networking online is just really very similar to networking in person. It's social, and it's getting to know people, and finding a way to be helpful. The biggest way to grow your business online is find a way to help people without being overly promotional. Just like you wouldn't walk up and introduce yourself and say, immediately start your spiel, don't do that online either. Nobody really wants to have in-your-face promotions. follow the rules of the group along that topic. A lot of groups don't really want you to openly advertise your business. A lot of groups do have days where they have threads for that purpose. Don't be rude by doing it anyway. It's uncool. It's just uncool. Think about, going back to when you join a group, think about if you're trying to figure out which groups do I want to join, same thing with networking. Like before you go to a networking event, I hope you're thinking about who am I trying to meet at this event? What purpose do I have? Think about the same things when you're looking at different groups. Just like you don't want to be on every social media platform, you don't want to be on every group out there. Really think about what can you maintain? And because all of this takes consistency. You need to be consistent and be sure you're active in the group. I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. I find that the people who find social media the most difficult are the people that A, don't put in the work, or B, they don't like social media. And so then it becomes difficult. But there's this overarching perception that social media is easy. If I get on social media, all the business will come to me. And that's not how it works. It takes, just like if you were going to have any other goal in your business or in your personal life, you're trying to lose weight or achieve some other goal, you have to focus on it and be consistent. Hire a coach if you need to hire a coach. But don't just think because you respond to a post on this group, once a month, that's going to draw business to you. You need to be active in the group that you're identifying because you've done your work and you've done your research. You need to be active in that group. You need to do the Google searches to find out, etiquette, do's and don'ts. It needs to become something you become good at. You can't just hit or miss and expect it to be work really well for you. And I find that that's the biggest complaint for people when you really drill down. They're not consistent and they haven't done their due diligence in learning or given it enough time. So I would recommend that. Going back to being in the group, again, always know your audience and speak to people's pain points. And mostly, just don't be salesy, but create value. See where you can help people. If people are looking for some kind of information that you know or understand, respond to the post. And in a kind way, like you were helping your neighbor without intent. People are, by and large, looking for answers. These are the reasons both of these groups are set up. So help people find the answers that they need. And your followers are too, really. Don't be rude. Don't send everybody a friend request. And don't send unsolicited links. Like, it's rude. People don't like it. I always say this. This is like, think about how you use social media. And then that's how other people use it too. So if you don't want somebody to send you a bunch of stuff you didn't ask for, don't do that in kind. That's really all I've got for that. You can answer specific questions if there are any.
Thanks very much. Okay, and we'll move on to John Fillipone, and he's the administrator for Western Prince William Chatter.
Yes, hello. Who belongs to Chatter?
And God bless you. That's all I have.
It is, I run two very successful businesses. I have two young children in travel soccer. I have a wife that likes to spend my money, and I have a webpage, 21,000 people that I have to babysit every day. It's crazy. And I have 21,000 friend requests. So it's a wonderful page. It's morphed, throughout the years, but it's community. It's really a community-driven page that you can use for anything. We do have a thread on a specific day, Mondays, where people can advertise their business in a specific thread, because it was really getting to the point where the whole page was just an advertisement, which, you know, was against what it was supposed to be for. But I've used it personally to fix an ant problem. My driveway was sinking. You just put something out there. Hey, who does the community recommend for this particular service? And you get a lot of answers. And you know, you sort of then do your research, and you can use the information to get help. It's also great for instant notifications. You know, hey, how's 66? You know, it's an amazing page. You can pretty much find anything. And as far as, and I use it personally as a community outreach program. We help people in the military. We help local businesses. You know, you know, I do repair work for local churches for free, for Carried to Full Term as a local business in Haymarket, which we take care of. You know, there's lots of things that we do to help the community, which is one of the great things about that page. If somebody's in need, they always go on there, and there's always 10 or 15,000 people willing to help you. If you are a business, and it is a great tool for business because it enhances awareness for your business and enables you to interact with your customers in a way that you've never been able to before. And I agree with what you said. You don't want to, I don't ever advertise my business in there. My customers do it for me. If somebody says, hey, you know, who do you recommend to do this? And there's a lot of people that recommend me, and then I can respond. But I don't use that thread to to advertise. I don't use it at all to advertise. I just try to help people. And it's an amazing page, and it has a very large reach. And what ST said about hiding somebody's post, I don't, if somebody breaks the rules, I just ban them. Get rid of them. There's 21,000 people.
You have to. Kids and ticks.
Like I said, I have young children. I can't babysit. So we're at 21,000 members now. 1,000 of them probably hate me because I have to be daddy, you know. But it is what it is. Administrators have to do what you have to do. But for the most part, it's a community-driven page where people can enhance their business, their lives, their personal lives. I mean, there's been stories of people, hey, I went to the movies and saw this person, you were really nice, and if you're out there, give me a call, I'd like to meet you, you know, and that stuff happens. And just about anything. It's an incredible page. It can be aggravating at times. Everybody wants to know what kind of snake this is. But that's what it's for. If you have a snake in your yard, you want to know what it is, come on. Spiders too.
Keys poisonous or not poisonous?
99% of the time they're not poisonous. They're venomous. But it really is a great resource. I mean, that webpage is amazing. It's helped me so many times on a personal level. It's enabled me to help people. Just the other day, someone locked their keys in their car. Hey, what do I do? I said, where are you? I'll come get you. So I went out and unlocked their car for them. And that person was just like, oh my God, I just posted that like 5 minutes ago. I'm here for you. You know, we had a military person whose wife was broken down on Route 15. He posted in there, you know, what do I do? I said, you go. I towed her for free, brought her in, fixed her car, sent it back. Just help people, you know. That's what I use it for. So, and in turn, you get return. You know, you get people that see that sort of thing, and hopefully enhance your own business. But it really is a great tool for any purpose in life, not just business, just for your person. So, I think that's about it.
All right, thanks so much. We've got a great and experienced panel, so we're going to go ahead and turn it over to the Q&A. I'm sure you all have a lot of questions. Maybe if we just raise hands and then, I don't know, I'll call on somebody and then we'll go that way.
I haven't
doesn't
paid
always
for
have to.
advertising in a long time.
But you don't need to, you have a chair.
And I don't advertise it on that page,
Yeah.
everybody else does.
No, but it's
so.
just organically happening for
Yeah,
you.
And
exactly.
you heard him say, everybody heard him say he's on Facebook, or he's online 24 hours a day. This didn't just happen.
Yeah.
Like,
So
one
you-
day it just
Yeah.
boom. Like, you know, same thing with Steve. Like, it looks like, you know, wow, this organic thing happened. And I don't know that much about your group, but I'm 100% positive you put a lot of time and effort into it. It makes when you're outside looking at it, it makes it look like it's so easy. And, you know, they put blood, sweat, and tears into growing this. The reason it is what it is today is because they babied it and they nurtured it and they did the work and they did the research and they paid the consultants, or, you know, they were online 24 hours a day, or they have other people helping them. It didn't just happen. Like I said, I think there's this misconception out there that, you know, if you're online or social's easy, it takes work, just like any other marketing takes work, any other aspect of your business, it takes work. And if it's not something that you can focus on right now, put it on the list for when you can, but you're gonna have to dedicate time and energy to it.
And you can join groups as businesses now, but be super careful with that. 'Cause
They don't love that.
people don't necessarily like it. They don't like seeing stuff from businesses in groups. There are ones where it works, like the Northern Virginia foodie groups. That works a little bit better, but in Chatter, I think it would be a disaster.
I found Woo Boy because of that group.
So you said something really interesting though about how you haven't paid for advertising in a long time. That's really interesting. So you're saying that you're focusing
Yeah,
so much on social that really it's unnecessary to.
I haven't paid, other than, you know, my local people, you know, like Haymarket Lifestyle or something, just because I like to support the community. I stopped all the advertising, saved tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm, you know, I'm at 130% capacity, you know, I'm being too busy, if there really is such a thing. So that's, and I credit that more to our community outreach program. We really do, you know, like to help the community and give back. So the page was really more of a place for the community to talk about it, because I certainly don't talk about it.
I would add too, you know, to your credit, you know, hey, somebody locked themselves out of the car and I'll be right over. First of all, that takes time and energy, so he's doing that, but that's a karma aspect too. That goes to good business practices. That's, you know, there's more to it.
Holy Trinity Church reached out. I fixed a car for some people for free. Carried the full term. I took care. I paid for a little girl. I paid for her birthday party. I mean, we do that kind of thing. So that's what I think it should be about.
And I know that there's a lot of businesses that do have
Absolutely, yeah.
focuses like that, and I think probably it works out really well for them, as long as you're doing it for the right reasons.
The guy that came and fixed my ant problem, I see him on that page all the time. He goes out, the biggest thing are birds got in my vent. And this guy, he's like Superman. He goes out, he fixes it and takes care of it and doesn't charge people. And he's the guy that always goes and gets the snakes for people, you know. And that guy, he does a lot for the community too. There's a number of people that do. The lady that runs Carried to Full Time does so much for the community.
And Steve too does a lot, you know.
We do. Oh, yeah. Well, so we do a little bit differently because, you know, we don't have like a group page that we're maintaining. So if we're doing things for the Boys and Girls Club, the art, we actually, you know, all their oil changes and state inspections and flat repairs and all that type of, you know, the pain points, we do all that for free. So it's like, you know, $12,000 a year in oil, you know, right there out the door. But that's just because we're doing that with the community. Whether we had a social media presence or a media presence, that's what we would do, just like him. You know, he does stuff for the community. The part where how we built the What's Up Prince William side, different than say a group page, is gives us a venue to be able to tell people about those type of things. It's not that we're trying to get, you know, it's just one of those, people want to support businesses that are supporting the community. So that's kind of how our page works. Kind of the same way his page works, you know, may work a little bit differently. That's basically the basic idea. I'm not saying you have to give everything away to get customers, you know, that's, you know, I'm not saying that. But it's also, how do people know what you do? But sometimes it's hard to talk about yourself too. So either, in the groups, it's, other people can talk about you. On a platform like ours or another media outlet, how do you get the word out to a large group of people on the good that you're doing in the community? So sometimes you kind of have to talk about yourself to get it out there. Like for us, we're mainly talking about Facebook. For us, it's 60,000 people hit the website. 22,000 people, or the reach might be 14,000 people that week that actually might come across their feed. And also, just got to be careful about also is, what are impressions and what are people actually engaging? Engagement is really where it's at. I can tell you, oh, we had 600,000 impressions. Big deal. Doesn't mean they did anything with it, or that might have just been Google crawling your site or crawling something. What is the engagement level? That's really where it's at. That's where people are going to actually come and see you and want to come to you.
So when you're responding to posts, are you responding as you, or are you responding as your business?
For
like if you're on his site and somebody asks about something and you go on.
I respond as me, the admin for Prince William Chatter. Like I said, I don't advertise.
Right.
Well, right, yeah, and so.
This is completely separate from me.
And then when people talk about your
If somebody
business.
engages about my business, then I'll respond,
As you, or from your
still
business?
as me. Most people know who I am.
Right, that's the thing, is
Um,
how do I put my business out there? Do I respond as my business, Owl White Media, or do I respond from my page, or?
If you're on Chatter,
Yeah,
if somebody asks for a referral for whatever your business is, you can respond as either. Say, hey.
okay, but what's better looking, I guess?
I think
Was it
it's you
better to
personally,
respond
I
as-
think it's better people relate to people.
Okay,
I think the gentleman hit on it. I mean, people would prefer to speak to a person.
okay,
In an ideal situation, you have somebody else referring your business.
Right.
That,
okay.
that's where.
And then usually
friends
they'll
of
put
people.
the link on most posts.
Yeah,
right? Most
like
people
the
put
Creators of
link
Total
to
Comfort,
the
anytime
site.
somebody says, I put their name and then I link their business. And that's who I recommend, so people do that. But yeah, I think people relate to people better.
Question about reviews. We're an HVAC company. The Google reviews and the Facebook reviews, is there a timing, answer them by X or as soon as possible, or is there a too late phase?
No, there's not a too late. I've got one or two that I've actually let sit there for a year.
Okay.
Because I know they want to do battle online, and I'll let them sit,
Mhm.
and then I'll go answer it later. It could be a year later.
Okay.
On a couple of them, not all of them. Other ones you generally want to respond pretty quickly.
Okay.
But if I know they're combative, let them sit. They forget about it. Then when I answer, they probably won't even respond.
Okay.
Well,
I'm coming in as the catch-up, so
Oh,
I'm
sure.
I'm catching up from the beginning of July.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm like, okay, am I responding to something that's too old in social media time, or?
It's better to respond than
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
I don't, because the position that I'm in, and I really try to just keep things separately, but, like I said, first thing I did when I took over this page was I banned 2,000 people. I'm not kidding. That's what I did. So I had 2,000 bad Yelp reviews, they were all fake, but what are you gonna do, So it's like, I really don't let it bother me anymore. Yeah, Yelp is a joke. Yelp is worthless.
Yelp. Talk about Yelp a whole nother day.
Yeah. Yelp is a scam.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to ask a little bit more about your question. Is there a difference between, say, the response you need to give from Yelp, do you get a little more time, versus one to say, someone who comes on Western Prince William Chatter, or, mom's group and says, hey, what's going on with this, or, why did this happen?
Well, if somebody comes on a Chatter and tries to blast a business, I always, as the admin of the page, listen, did you reach out to the business first? Because this is just one side of the story. You can't, this isn't really the platform to come and do this sort of thing. If you come on here and say, hey, I tried this place and I wasn't really happy. They told me this and they didn't do this. I reached out, I spoke to the owner, and the resolve wasn't great. Then sure, do that. If you're coming on there, and people, trust me, I deal with this every day too. People are just, I try to help people to a fault, and people take advantage of that on that page, and I let them. But most people, I don't think should do that. But I try to keep it in context. I'm like, if I feel the need, I'll say, hey, have you reached out to the owner? Hey, have you gone through the proper channels? Somebody posted the other day they had a bad experience in Target with a person who they accused of doing something really bad and put the person's name on there. I'm like, hey, you can't do that. It's just your side of the story. If that really happened, call the police, call Target, do something. If you have some sort of police report or something newsworthy, then come back and then we'll do it then. And of course, nothing came back. People will try to use the platform for bad, and they do it all the time. And I try not to allow that to happen. But bad reviews happen. Bad things happen. And if I know I've had bad reviews on there, and then I personally appreciate the opportunity for a few reasons, because if I really did something bad, it enables me to get better. And two, I can try and rectify the situation, because most of the time if somebody has a bad visit or something, they just won't come back, they won't say anything, and I'd rather have the opportunity to keep them.
As a business, we started talking at the same time. As a business, I would refrain from doing anything negative. Keep it positive. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. When you're in groups, I wouldn't go blasting people. Don't go blast your competition.
Well, yeah, if your presence on Facebook is as a business, you certainly shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
but if you're a person that had a bad experience as a business, but go through the proper channels first.
As a business, how could you know that that conversation came up in a group? If the business isn't.
So one of my the Prince William Moms page, I don't know how many people are on that, but somebody just sent me a snapshot of that. They were blasting my local competition, who are my best advertisers. But and I had like 30 posts. Oh, got people. So I didn't mean to say anything. So I can search a group that I'm not in, or it'll just pop up on that. I don't even know that. Like if it's like Chatter's a closed group, so.
Well, if you're part of Chatter.
If you're part of Chatter, yeah. But like I'm not part of Prince William County Moms, and people talk about me in there.
Okay.
And I wouldn't know until somebody tells me.
Right, tells you.
Yeah.
Unless it's a public group, then you can find it.
But there are just some instances, for example, where, there are certain laws that come into effect when someone has an issue. This happened with one of our members on Prince William Chatter, and they kind of had to explain the policy. And I wish, quite frankly, that there was a way that they wouldn't have felt like they had to go to Western Prince William Chatter or like one of the bigger groups, as opposed to just, because even so, there is a policy and a way of doing things within certain industries. And, if, like, for example, on the medical side, if someone requests your medical records and you've gone to another physician, then that doctor can do what they want and they can take your business. So there are certain things that do come into play that sometimes are not even at the whim of the business, but it's.
Yeah, there was a post like that on Chatter. Somebody went to another doctor because they couldn't get into their regular doctor, and then when they tried to go back, they wouldn't take them because they went and saw another doctor. I don't know the legalities of all that stuff, but that was an interesting post, because I wouldn't want to go to the doctor who's now going to turn your family away just because you went somewhere else because you had to care for your family.
It's a HIPAA law.
Yeah, no, I know HIPAA laws. You can't, but that doesn't mean you can't go back to that doctor ever again.
Yeah, but there are definitely conversations that need to be had.
Yeah, I don't know the legalities of it, so you might be right, but that was an interesting thread if we're talking about the same one. I enjoyed
And
that
didn't
thread.
the doctor come and respond on that one?
Yeah, one of the doctors
Yeah.
actually was on the page and came in and responded on it.
Right. Sorry, nothing.
That was a good post. It stuck in my mind. I deal with it. 10,000 posts a day, that one I remember.
The entertainment factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to me, it really was. I don't know if my feelings on the subject were right or wrong, but I felt bad for the family, not for the business. I didn't say anything, but that's the sort of thing. I'm like, okay, I have 2 young kids, I'm not gonna go there. I already have doctors, but that sort of thing.
Is there one in the back of the room?
Yeah, just kind of answer your question about the reviews and like responsiveness. I really do think being responsive does matter. So at the beginning of the year, we adopted a chat service called Podium. Put it on the website, people can contact us, ask us questions or whatever, but you could also like link your review sites and it will alert you when someone leaves a review. And you can respond right then and there from your phone because it's an app that you can access as well. But from the beginning of the show, we had like 65 reviews and we're at 115 now. And I think it's because, when people are searching your company, they look for the reviews, what are people saying about you. And if they see someone from Able responded, it shows that they care, you know what I mean? Or if you don't respond, you don't care.
Okay.
So I absolutely believe responsiveness does play a huge factor in your review count, how many reviews you can get. Obviously you're playing catch up, but it's great that you are responding to those reviews. And then for you, like the ROI, the great thing about like these principal and chatters, the only thing you're investing is your time. So there are legitimately free leads on these pages. So for me, I have an Excel sheet, channel, client contacted, amount of time spent. So if I spend 30 minutes with them, it's half my hourly rate that I spent on them. Booked, moved, yes, no, yes, $3,000. There's my return on my investment right there. So it's archaic, but it's an Excel sheet. It's a manual input. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of keeping track of it. It's not, I don't use a program to see how much I've sold or who I've contacted or time spent. It's literally just me adding the numbers up.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
The only thing I was going to say is, social media is great, Facebook is great, groups are great. You should say it's like the icing on the cake. There's a lot of potential there. But when it really comes right down to it, most people Google when they're looking for something. So just make sure that your Google presence is up there also, because when it comes down to it, that's where they're going to go. It doesn't matter if you're a millennial or a baby boomer. You're generally, I'm not saying they don't go look at places, they don't ask on Facebook or whatever. But if you're talking to millennials, first thing that they do is they call their dad. Where do I go? Now they may get on the chatter.
So chatter beats Google.
And then
You're on to something.
don't discount face-to-face networking. Nothing
Yeah.
Nothing beats
It's-
person-to-person or referrals. So that's where you're using your chamber or whatever networking groups that you belong to. Again, icing on the cake, but nothing beats face-to-face, getting to know people and getting those referrals. I would say both of these guys have had a ton of word-of-mouth referrals because of their involvement in the community and in the chamber and so on and so forth.
So why Thursday?
Because basically, for us, Facebook is really slow right now, so it could take 2 to 4 days for your post to actually come up, and by that time it's Sunday, and the parents are like, okay, I'm beat, I'm done. Let me just chill out on Facebook for a little bit, and the posts come up. Now that could vary, that could start, and that could change next week. Yeah. Because we used to, we actually used to do paid advertising on Facebook. Then we saw that it was going nowhere, so now we do no advertising on Facebook for ads.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It totally depends on the time of day. When we look at our analytics for schools, parents are 9 o'clock. Between 9 and 11, especially on the weekends, that's when we get all of our traffic. So
PM?
yes. It's because that's when they've got the kids to bed, they're doing their thing, or they're like, okay, I gotta find a school, or I need to do this, or whatever. That's when they're in on it. Yeah.
Also, morning time is really good, like when the kids are getting breakfast and stuff like that, and parents are on social media, like scrolling through what their kids are eating and stuff like that. We found that early in the morning, like around between 5 and kind of at 7:30 is also a good time.
Did you have another one?
Yeah.
I do most of my posting for charity events and with the Gainesville Haymarket Rotary. Is there a threshold where you can overpost where people are like, oh no, here she is again?
I think it would be like on what platform you're on. There's, I would say Facebook once per day is probably good. You know, if you really want to do a lot, if you really want to push stuff out, once a day that's a lot to put a post together. But also, you know, for what we're calling a post for us may not be the same for you. So a post for us is written content on a website, goes to Facebook, goes to Twitter. If there's a video, it goes to YouTube. All the points back. Are we also putting it somewhere else? Is it something relevant that we're putting on the Chamber's called blog page to build a link and point back to us? Then for us, it might actually go on What's Up Prince William to actually point back to our website. So we're actually, you know, building links and content pointing back to our area. So I'm always not necessarily worried about, am I getting somebody today because of that post? I'm always really putting up content to where if they're searching for me, you know, 6 months to a year from now for a Ford Focus alternator problem, our content comes up for us to get seen. So ours is maybe a little bit different than say, you know, like a group looking for information right this second.
For chatter, yes, definitely. There's too much, people will start to report it, and if it gets reported so many times, then we delete them, and sometimes even delete the user.
You haven't banned me yet.
No. You're not bad. There's one local business that had 3 people just spamming it all the time, and everybody would report it, and I would say, hey, listen, you guys gotta calm down, you gotta stop, just do it once a day, you know? You have 3 people doing it, have each of them do it once a day, not 10 times a day each. I don't know if they didn't get my messages or whatever, but so now they don't do it at all.
So what is the policy on hosting events? Like, say if someone had an open house.
So, are you talking about chatter?
Yeah.
Okay, so events, we allow whenever. If there's an event, post about it, that's fine. Now, and this was before I took over, like I said, Katie, the woman that started the page, she had in her rules, I guess because this used to be a problem, realtors, you know, if you want to, so she has a specific rule, you know, no open houses, no, you know, there are pages for real estate, there's no yard sale things, you know, don't post yard. If it's a community yard sale, post away. If it's your house, don't post it. If you're a realtor and you have an open house, don't post it. If you want to post it in the merchants thread, fine. You can do that whenever you want. But on the main page, no. You can't do real estate postings, yard sale postings, things like that. You can post, hey, I'm looking for a house. Have your friend say, hey, I'm looking for a house in this neighborhood. Did know anything? Then you can respond. Say, hey, yeah, here I am. I'm this realtor. I actually have an open house on this day. You can do it like that. But yeah, there's no postings allowed like that. There's ways around it.
As far as, what was your question again?
Oh, like events and things.
Events. We don't really necessarily have events. We get together maybe once a month or so for like coffee, just to exchange ideas or pass information. But just in general, because we don't have businesses in our group, it's just persons, like individual people.
But if someone wanted to post, like, say a preschool wanted to have an open house, or like
if one of the members in the group is a part of a preschool, whatever, yeah, they can post that anytime as far as events. But as far as like businesses wanting to post, we only authorize that on Monday. They can post anytime on Monday.
Okay.
Like, I think Lake Manassas Academy just changed their name and they try to do something, post something like that. I leave those alone. I don't get rid of them. There's other, you know, Katie and Wayne, if there's 2 other admins, if they delete it, then they delete it. Things like that, I leave alone, because I think it's good information for